Hey, hello everybody, it's Vitaly here at OG Gamers Live, OG Gamers World, and we're back. And during my live stream the other night when I was doing the ASRock Intel balanced build, I had mentioned that I would take that live stream video and I would render some out both on my regular production PC and the new balanced build to see how long it would take and compare the two. Well, I haven't done it over on the production PC because I've got it unhooked. I have moved that new balance build over into its spot and hooked it up so I could use it in my day-to-day workflow and do bench testing and everything else and see how it was doing. And so far, it's performing well above expectations. So I thought that we would set it up to do render some video, but I'm not going to do it like everybody else. They usually take like a 10-minute video, 15-minute video, and they run their little test and call it done. We're going to do a 1-hour video and render it out. And I should point out that I'm recording this video while I'm editing this video and rendering this video out, all on the same PC. So it will affect the overall speed, but let's see how long this takes. We're gonna render this out at 1080p MP4 using the AV1 codec. Constant. Let's do a constant bit rate. 80,000 kilobytes per second. So yeah, and it's 59 minutes, 59 seconds. You can see there. And let's hit the render queue. Let's add this to the render. Render it out. Plan is and will continue to be that I swap out that little air cooler for a 360 millimeter AIO as soon as the budget allows. And because I knew that I was going to be swapping that air cooler out, I went with almost the cheapest one I could find, and it's performing better than expected. Keeping the temperatures under control. I gamed and streamed the other night all night long. Didn't have any problems with temperatures or anything like that. So if I was going to leave it air cooled, I would just leave that cooler in there. I actually like the way it looks. It's a JONSBO. It's like $27. It wasn't that expensive. And the whole point of this is I want to demonstrate. Most people don't call it by the correct name, but we're making use of Intel's Deep Link technology to render this video. And what that is if you have an Intel CPU with integrated graphics, you can use the integrated graphics on the CPU to act as an accelerator card for the GPU. And the ARC A770 and Dimensity Resolve makes use of that natively. And it says it looks like the total time on this is going to be right around 9 minutes. We'll see. I'll come back and check my power usage on that GPU though. It says it's only pulling 87 watts. 89 watts was the maximum. It has a total power draw of up to 254 watts. That's crazy. What's the CPU pulling? $97 watts, 98 watts. It'd be extremely efficient, a lot more efficient than my regular rig, that's for sure. The reason this is taking so long, I was going to originally cut all this out and just skip, but I decided that I wouldn't do that. Most people, when they demo this part of it, they only use like a 10 to 15 minute video. And we're doing literally a 1-hour video. That's basically a movie. You know, I remember a few years ago working on a 2-hour video, and it literally took me almost 2 days to render that video out. I literally burnt up the computer that I was trying to do that on. I was at the laptop at the time. That's why I no longer use cheap laptops. I say a few years. That's probably been about 7, 8 years ago. And when y'all hear me talk about this, you'll hear me use the term budget build. I don't mean that in the same way that some people do when they're talking about a budget build like $500 or $600. This is not that. If you had to build this computer today, at today's prices, it would run you right around $1,500, and that's a lot more than some people want to spend on a computer. However, you need to understand that I normally build higher end production rigs anywhere from $4,500 to $7,500. So the fact that I'm building one that competes with those at the $1,500 price point is just amazing. Or I think it is. I can't stress this enough. In all my testing, if you remove ray tracing from the picture and upscaling from the picture, well, even the upscaling, the ARC does pretty good. But NVIDIA has such a head start on everybody else when it comes to ray tracing. They're always gonna be playing catch up. But if you remove upscaling and ray tracing out of the picture and you just go by raw compute power, raw horsepower, that ARC A770 is punching so far up above its price class, it's ridiculous. I was doing a bunch of testing over on 3D Mark, and in some cases, it was blowing my $6,500 Threadripper build completely out of the water. Crazy. The Threadripper build is the one that got stolen after my wife passed away in 2022, for those of y'all that don't know. $500 build, and it had the AMD Threadripper 3960X in it, Zotac 3090 and all that. And it was a beast under multi-core workloads, but in single core, like for gaming and most everyday use cases, this computer blows it out of the water. Even on light editing and video production, it's outperforming it. I know this part's kind of like watching the paint dry, and I really should have edited this video, but I had some things that I wanted to talk about while it was doing it, so I figured I'd squeeze it in there. Didn't intend to make a 15-minute video, but it looks like that's where we're going to end up. Okay, we're back, and it rendered this video out in 8 minutes and 34 seconds. And I want to point out that it rendered that video out while I'm recording this one. The rendering time would have been faster if I had not been recording, but it still did it pretty fast. That's a 1-hour video. We can verify that over here. Let's go open up the folder and look right quick. Is it right here? I also want to point out, if you're new to the Intel ARC graphics cards and rendering video in AV1, if you want to play back AV1 on your Windows PC, you need to go download the AV1 extension. You can get that from the Microsoft Store, and it's directly available from Microsoft. And yeah, you'll need it to play it back. As you can see, it was 1 hour even right here. So yeah, impressive. I guess I should take a second and point out that as far as AV1 goes, as far as playing it back, it's not just because of Intel ARC. That applies to any card that encodes video in AV1, be it AMD or NVIDIA or Intel. Just because you can encode it doesn't mean you can play it back without that extension. You have to go get the extension. I don't understand why Windows didn't automatically find it and install it for me. It didn't. So If you get you a brand new AMD card that it does AV1, or you get you an NVIDIA card that does AV1 and you encode a video and then you go to play it back and it won't play, you're probably missing the AV1 extension and you just need to go download it from Microsoft. Hope that clarifies that. Touching on a little bit more about Intel's deep link technology, that is something that's directly Intel, with their Intel graphics and their Intel CPUs. At some point, NVIDIA and AMD may figure out a way to make that work, but I wouldn't hold my breath. But you never know. Where does that come in handy? Well, let's bring this up so y'all can see. Ported apps right off the bat are Handbrake, Intel One API, Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve Studio, Magic Video Pro X14. Most of your newer Intel laptops that have Intel CPUs and GPUs integrated will work just fine. If you're building a computer or buying a computer, it needs to be an 11th, 12th, or 13th gen Intel CPU with onboard graphics and an Intel Arc discrete GPU. That feature, there's no doubt in my mind, it will be included with Intel's Battlemage if and when Battlemage gets released. I'm trying to figure out where I went, because if you're a gamer and a streamer and you're not, even if you're not using those programs that we mentioned, it does come in handy if you're live streaming. Currently enabled by Intel Arc Control, OBS, XSplit, the Avert Media Cam Engine, Streamlabs, and Hoya. Any one of those apps or programs will make use of Intel Deep Link technology when it comes to your streaming, and it does make a lot of difference. So that's it for now. I don't have all the answers, but I'm liking this balanced build more and more every minute that I use it. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I'm going to mention it here. I haven't had any problems up until it comes to something using a feature that I've used before with the same video card in my AMD build, and that is Streamlabs Virtual Webcam. I use that to get my streaming video over into Discord. I stream to TikTok. Unfortunately, TikTok still has not authorized me to use Streamlabs, and I'm only allowed to use their TikTok Live Studio. So in order to get my video from my Streamlabs, I have to run it over into TikTok using virtual webcam. And it's not the end of the world. I've narrowed down the problem. It's a driver issue. And the only thing different between this computer and my old computer, other than the AMD CPU, is I'm not using my Blackmagic Design capture card. I've got a quad 4K capture card in that other computer, and I didn't want to pull it out and put it in this build. So I'm using my Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini. That's the only difference between the two. So it could be the Blackmagic Design ATEM Mini driver causing the conflict, or it could be the updated driver for Intel Arc Control's virtual webcam. But whichever, and it could be a combination of the two. I don't know. I will sort it out. Don't get a lot of help from Streamlabs when it comes to tech support. Most people don't. Streamlabs, if you see this video, you need to get with me and see if we can sort this out and make it work. Or if I figure it out, I'll put the answer up here and maybe other people will find it. But right this minute, the virtual webcam for Streamlabs will not install. It just won't do it. And it says it's a driver issue. So we'll figure out which one it is and get it sorted. And until next time, this is Vitali over here at OG Gamers Live, OG Gamers World. Y'all stay safe wherever you are in the world tonight. It's a crazy world out there. And I'm out of here.